We'll go down to the final couple of months of the season. Is it starting to feel like the run-in's coming up quickly?
Yeah, it's obviously with 10 games to go. It is then in that final straight where you have to win as many games as possible, and we're going to give it our best shot to try and do that. But it's lighter mornings. It sort of gives you a way that you come into that sort of period where the season's coming to a close, but there's still enough games and enough points to play for to change the outlook than what we've got at the moment. So that's going to be our target, as winning as many games as possible, and see where it takes us. But Saturday's the next chance. It's a big game against a big opponent, and we're looking forward to it.
How do you approach the last 10 games in terms of with the lads, to stop people thinking about finals or end of season or anything like that? Do you do much different?
Well, that's a fine for mentioning the final a month before it. So no, it's look, we've got this thing where we always work for the next game with the players. Anyway, we have obviously a lot of planning and things for all games. Logistics that need to be sorted. So we do all that behind the scenes, but we never talk to the players about more than the next game. So that's how we've always done it. I think as a player, that's how I wanted to be. You only want to focus on the next game. You haven't got the capacity to think about the game after that when you haven't played the one directly in front of you. So we try to do that and work on trying to win every single game we play. That, for me, there's no batch of games, start the season, midway through the season. People talk about Easter, Christmas, this, that, the other. I don't think they define where you are at the end of the season. The season is over the course of 10 months, and we've still got a good chunk of it. It is the final straight, but you're still talking 10 games and 30 points. So, it could make a significant difference to our league standing by approaching those games and playing as well in those games as possible. So, for me, we look at the next target, which is 3 points on Saturday, and we just keep resetting that. And for me, the enjoyment, the target for each player is to go out and play well and try and win a game of football, regardless of the competition, regardless of what it means that particular week to the league table or whatever. It's about going out, winning a game or competing, trying to win a game of football. Enjoying your job, feeling good about yourself, making the supporters feel good about supporting their club. All those things are always relevant, regardless of what stage of the season. So that's how we'll approach the final 10 games.
I say before Bradford, a big game near Salford. If it won't be a Salford by the time this goes out, like to be a big atmosphere. Is that reflected?
Yeah, I think. You see, Bradford are probably the biggest supported club in the division. We saw that when we played at Valley Parade earlier this season. The atmosphere was fantastic to play in for the players, and obviously a smaller venue and not as many, but I'm sure the atmosphere will be similar with the noise and the banter between the two groups of supporters. So, but we have to play the game as we always try to do. But it's about playing against the opponents of Bradford, not the status of the club, the size of the club, the size of their support. It's about being better than the 11 players that play against us. So that's, for us, the focus. That's the approach. And but certainly as a player and as a manager, I'll be honest, playing in better atmospheres and louder atmospheres always gives you a bigger buzz. So it's I'm sure Saturday will be the same as that.
We saw last week and we talked about the changes afterwards and the impression they had. I see the lads today been stepping the game up again this week and trying to get themselves back into your plans. Squad looking good.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about this group of players, they whenever you leave people out, they're going to be disappointed, and I expect them to be disappointed. I'd be surprised. I'd be a bit disappointed myself if they weren't a little bit good about not playing. But what I'll say is, from Monday to Friday, show great attitudes to train, to try and push into that starting 11, and they also understand and respect the competition that we have within the squad. That's there's never a bad player that steps out for Salford. Whoever takes that red shirt is a good player. So to be disrespectful to that player expecting to play over them is something we shy away from. But something we do want is genuine competition and them to compete from Monday to Friday. But once the Saturday comes, that they support each other as good teammates. And we treat everybody the same here. We don't, apart from picking some and not picking some, everyone gets treated the exact same right throughout the week. So we know when we do have to change the team, or people do come in, or they're not playing, that they understand that the spirit is still the same. They want to do well for the club, but they've always got at the back of their mind that they want to go and help the club win games. But so from my perspective, the group of players we have, we're always honest with them. So if someone's not playing, we talk to them about it. But they're all ready to play their part, and that's what we're going to need from now to the end of the season.
Graham, I'm sure you'll obviously know after Saturday's victory over Macclesfield Town that you're now top of the away tables in terms of goals scored and points. But I get a sense that that's probably something that maybe frustrates you more than something that you are happy with, given your position overall. Yeah,
it's to be fair, we faced a lot this season with everything. With the amount of players that we've used and turned around, and other things that have gone off outside of the game time. So we had to manage a lot as a club and as a group of staff and players over this 8 months that we've played already, and 7-8 months, and coming to this new level which we've never been at before. It's all played its part, but we're still in there with a fighting chance of doing something good. And we look at these things, and I think when we started the season, we didn't win away from home, and you work on things. And to be fair, we approach, the biggest thing for me is we approach home and away games exactly the same. And we always go to win the game. We've always got an ambition to win the game and score goals, and I think that's bore fruit certainly away from home. As you say, top scorers and top of the table, but at home we found it more difficult to win the points. I believe that our performances in the last, I would say, 2.5 months have certainly warranted more points than we've got. I think the opportunities that we've created, the lack of opportunities we've let go against us, I think we've been harshly dealt with at both ends. But I've said to you a few times since the new year that it's down to us to change that. It's no one's fault if we're missing chances from in front of the goal, or allowing a team to score an easy goal. It's down to us, and we have to focus on how to improve that. And it's at Moor Lane, and there's always a different approach from the opposition. I think from home and away. I think generally the emphasis is on the home team to do more in any particular game, which we might have taken advantage of away from home, and vice versa at our place. But we've looked at quite a few things, but you don't want to change everything all at once, because then it's hard to actually ascertain what was the deciding factor. So we try to change little things here and there, just to see if that is the magic ingredient, so to speak. But all I'll say, I've been really pleased with the performances at home. It's just that you have to score goals and you have to stop conceding them, and I don't think we've conceded that many to have the record we have, but we certainly haven't scored enough, and certainly from the opportunities we had, we haven't scored enough. So that's where the focus has been, trying on without making the players too uptight about what it is, because we know we've got talented players in the squad. We haven't always had them, and we haven't always had them fit. So we hope that now that they're getting regular football and they're gelling more as a squad, that tide will turn at home.
And in terms of the running, I've done a bit of research and seen that you've still got 6 of the bottom 9 still to play. So if you can build a bit of momentum, are you looking at that as a sort of an opportunity?
I don't really. The league table can influence how Well, listen, there's a reason for the league table. It's on performance, so it is what it is. But for me, we have to approach every game in the same way, and that's trying to win. You know, we have to approach everyone with the utmost respect. You know, regardless of their league position. I think every club at the moment, or certainly in this final 10 games, will have something to fight for, whether it's at the top end or the bottom end, because of the playoffs, because of the way the league is. There won't be any teams with many dead games. So whoever you're playing against is either fighting for promotion or fighting for their lives. And for me, that you have to be at your best. So our approach to every game is being the best we can be, you know, regardless of where the opposition lying in the table. But you know, we've beaten teams at the top, but we've also been beat by teams not at the top. So, you know, for us, our main focus, our only focus at the minute, is getting our performance as high as it can be and take advantage of those performances and winning games when you are the team on top.
And looking ahead to Saturday, obviously with the Bradford game, are you looking at that as a sort of a must-win in terms of, obviously they're above you in the table, and if you can win, it's not only 3 points in your favour, but 3 points away from a team at the top end?
The must-win shout cracks me up sometimes, because I think the first time you hear it, it's probably 10 games into the season or 15 games in, and look what's happened since then. So, you know, the must-win, I think, comes down to the last couple of games, or even a final or something like that. You know, that's when it's a must-win, because there's no scope after it. But there's enough games after here to still win points. But look, we know we're not stupid. We've got a significant point difference between us and the playoffs, and we've got 10 games left. So we have to win the majority of our games from now to the end of the season to be successful. But there's no particular order that those games have to be won in the next 10 games. So for me, putting all our season onto one game, I know you haven't said that, but must win, you know, suggests that might be the case. But you know, it's we have to focus on winning 3 points on Saturday, but it doesn't define where we finish at the end of the season. You know, there's still another 9 games, but you know, the more points we can take, certainly against teams that are around us or slightly just above us, obviously, you know, draw them back into us and obviously add to our tally. So we see every game really as the must-win wording suggests more than it is. We go into every game trying to win the game. Every single game. There's not one game where I go, actually, we can just pick up a point here and we'll be happy with. Every single game we go out to win. And I don't see any different on Saturday or the following week, to be honest.